This movie reminded me of a Mitch Hedberg joke, and it goes like this. I saw a human pyramid once. It was very unnecessary. And that is exactly how I feel about Gladiator 2. So, hold on to your butts.
Lucius, take your father's strength. His name was Maximus, and I see him in you.
This story is set 16 years after the original film. Prince Lucius is now a man and somehow never decided to return to Rome. But when Rome comes knocking on his door, destroying his city and taking him prisoner, he's dragged back as a slave. And just like his father before him, he's forced to fight as a gladiator too. And that's the title of this movie. Good job, Ridley Scott.
Well, when you're put out into the woods by your mother to say, go with this man, there's that to it. And he turned up in one day, involves himself in the most like Denzel. I joined the army. I tend to draw fucking writing and so my drawing is my textbook. Can be Denzel said, okay, boom. It was a habit not to pick up dirt. Every film I do is like it, because in that earth you may die.
Remember how fun and exciting the first Gladiator was? And don't forget, it won 5 Oscars, including Best Picture. Well, this sequel is more like Independence Day resurgence, because none of the characters are engaging, it's unintentionally hilarious, and it often feels more like a video game than a movie. Let's start with Spencer Clark, I mean Paul Mescal, who plays Prince Lucius. I've never seen Mescal in anything else, but I was not impressed. His character is one of the most bland, uninspired protagonists I've seen in a while. He reminded me of Sam Worthington in Clash of the Titans.
My father was killed by a god. Everyone I loved was killed by a god.
And in a movie like this, you want your lead to be likable, charismatic, and commanding. You know, like Russell Crowe in the original film. And then there's the story. For some reason, the marketing already spoiled that Paul Mescal is playing Prince Lucius from the first movie. I don't know why. Because in the first hour, this movie tries to present that fact as some sort of big twist, which it isn't. And from a writing perspective, you never want your audience to be ahead of the story. It makes the plot tedious rather than suspenseful. And while we're on the subject of Lucius, this movie retcons something from the first film that is pretty ridiculous. And this is kind of a spoiler, so... As it turns out, Maximus is Lucius's father, and I call bullshit on that. There's nothing in the original movie to suggest this. Even as Maximus was dying, Connie Nielsen wasn't like, hey, by the way, Lucius is your kid? Nothing?
My son was innocent.
So is mine.
The way they present this hilarious fact in this film is there's a throwaway line implying that Connie Nielsen's character slept around with many men while married, and Maximus was one of them. You know, the strength and honor guy who loved his wife and son so much, he carried their tiny statues everywhere. Oddly enough, the Colosseum fights are the only parts of this film that really grab your attention because they are, for lack of a better word, bonkers. It all feels like a video game, including a boss fight against a dude riding a rhinoceros, a pack of bloodthirsty baboons, and even a naval battle with sharks in a flooded Colosseum. It's all a bit much, but at least it's somewhat entertaining because unfortunately the story itself does not provide anything of interest. It is so weird, it all feels like a fever dream, like that one episode of The Sopranos when Tony ate some bad Indian food.
Our true enemy has yet to reveal himself.
Even Denzel Washington appears to be on mushrooms in this film. It's all very cartoonish. Not to mention the evil twin emperors who were apparently loosely based on Beavis and Butthead. It is literally insane.
I am Cornholio.
This movie makes a bunch of mistakes, and I can overlook certain things, like shots being out of focus during simple dialogue scenes, which actually happens a couple of times, or glaring continuity errors, like blistered hands miraculously healing overnight. But the story and its presentation are just plain dumb, and it feels like the movie is talking down at you, like a child. So unfortunately, I don't recommend Gladiator 2. Not in theaters anyway. Not unless you're 12 years old or something.
The odds are against you.
The odds are always against me.
I have another joke for you. What did Spartacus say when the lion ate his wife? Nothing. He was Gladiator. Gladiator. I guess he wasn't very romantic. Nope.